G'day, legends. It's Jai, that Aussie metal guy here. Before we get stuck into another great interview brought to you by Crank.com and thatmetalstation.com, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe, and that way you can keep up to date with all the best music and interviews from all over the world. Hey, how you all going? It's Jai, that Aussie metal guy here with Crank.com and with thatmetalstation.com. So today, tonight, this morning, no matter where you are in the world, I'm having a chat with Craig Rossi of Drift into Black. I did have a chat with him last year about the Patterns of Light album, an absolutely ripping doom metal album, one I'm still cranking. I'm excited about the Earthtorn album, which I believe is the fourth full-length album from Drift into Black. Comes out 20th of May. No longer a solo project as well. Craig, cheers for joining me, man.
Hey, man. Nice to be here. How's it going?
Yeah, I'm good, man. How you been, dude?
Yeah, I'm doing good, man. You look great.
Yeah, you too, man.
We're doing good.
We're both doing well, man. It's a good time of year, and it's good for you, man. It's good to see Drift into Black is cruising along really well. You picked up a couple of members, so it's no longer a solo project, which is also good, I suppose, for the creative input, but also not as much work for you playing as many bloody instruments. And you've also scored a label with Black Line Records, which is a ripping album, man. I've got a ton of albums from them guys as well.
Yeah. They have a great roster of bands, man. Like really, really good mix. You know, I like when a label has a really good mix of genres. You know, it's really good to see that. You know, and they're not just death metal. You know, you got doom, you got death, you got metalcore, you got death metal, all different types. You know, which is great.
Yeah, and they've always had their finger on the pulse with some great music. First off, man, can you tell me a little bit about expanding this project from, you being the solo project you were, which is bloody unreal, but now you've picked up a couple of extra members. Can you tell me a little bit about first expanding from the solo project into like a full-blown band and the members you've picked up as well?
Well, the members, they have been the same members all along. They have been the same guys all along, but when I'm done writing music, like the songs, they add so much dynamic to the songs that those songs totally sound completely different once, the drummer puts his parts in and the bass player puts his part. Paul and Clement, once they put their parts in, the songs sound totally different. So I'm like, if these guys are changing the dynamics of the sound like so much, it's like that they are contributing, that they're writing too. They're not just session guys, that I consider that as their members, so I wanted to make that announcement.
Yeah, no, it was definitely well deserved, and they're both great guys. Paul had me up over on the socials, and I've actually got a chance to see some of his other work and the stuff he has done, man. He's an unreal musician as well. It must be good to have these guys, you know what I mean, officially make that announcement that they're a part of the band. They're no longer just contributors. But Does that leave the door open for now that you can look at maybe playing some live shows and things like that?
We shall see. We're kind of scattered, at the moment. So I would love to, after like recording an album, you kind of have to revisit the songs to relearn how to play them. And so I've been doing that as of recently, because considering the fact that we just finished wrapping up the music video. So, I had to relearn that song. I relearned another song for a playthrough as well. So it's like, it's kind of fun relearning the material that was just recorded. And it's like, while it's fresh in my mind, it would be great to hit the stage and just, play them live,
Yeah, it would be really great to play that live, man. Tell me a little bit about the signing to Black Line Records, like kind of with this album, dude. What that kind of to meant for you as going, I'm signing with a label. Did it give you more security as well with this album, or were you just more confident about the whole process of getting the music out to more ears?
Both, basically. I mean, they were my first choice. Because I've been scoping out labels all throughout like the end of 2021, and so like I looked at Black Line Records and they kept popping up on my feed, and I kept liking everything that they've been showing, videos of different bands that like I like, and I like their roster. So they're like the first band that I sent them. Literally a day after the engineer finished mixing and mastering the album, I put it together. And hold on. I put it together, and you still with me?
Yeah,
Sorry.
still with you.
I put the songs together in a package and everything, and there was like a day later, I sent it out to Oliver from Black Lion Records, and like that day, they were like, "Yo, we could get behind this. This is great," you know. So yeah, it's a little bit of security and getting it to the most ears as possible, you know. You know, we're still a relatively new band. I mean, even though this is our fourth album, we only started in 2017, you know?
Yeah, so
I guess we work hard.
Yeah, so as soon as this Patterns of Light come out, you were already at work for the next album, eh?
Yeah.
Earthtorn. And it's
That's not the case. That's not the case this time. I haven't even written a note for the next. But I think I'm gonna like kind of take a little bit of a break because not only that, I have another release coming out, a project I started called Days in the Abyss.
Yep.
It's full ambient project, and I wrote that. I wrote that while Clement and Paul were laying down their tracks for Drifting to Black. I had some downtime, so I started, you know, putting together some like synth stuff. And I was like, you know, I've been writing a lot of keyboard stuff for the Drifting to Black album, especially there's some ambient stuff on that album. Earthtorn. The second single, there's a whole like 5-minute breakdown in the middle. It's all ambient. So I'm like, you know what? This is a good segue to do a side project. I wasn't gonna make a Drifting to Black ambient album, and I'm not gonna mention any other band names that have done that. Yeah. Which I kind of think was a mistake. But I wanted to do a whole separate project, you know.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And
I'd really dug that ambient feel to it, dude, and it probably was. I was sitting there the other day just cranking nothing but ambient bloody music, man, and you got to be the right vibe for it, man. You sit down there, dude, and you chuck it on, and some days you want to chill out to some of that ambient music, and you get lost, man. Like doom metal, I found, you know, I get totally lost in the kind of vibes and the music as well of that.
Yeah. And you know, and if it's cool if you have good imagery, if you're watching good imagery, you know, and like, okay, I'll name them. Blood Incantation, they put out the Time Wave Zero. They did some cool animation, and that works, you know, as sort of like the music serves as like a soundtrack to the to what you're watching, you know.
Yeah.
So,
or even gaming, dude. I find putting on a good ambient mix, man, something, you know, even a little bit heavier, that ambient sound, dude. And you can I get lost in it gaming as well, dude. Like you're saying, the imagery and what you're watching at the time of listening to the music really helps, man. Can I talk about, moving on quickly, I want to talk about the, from there, I want to talk about the story of Earthtorn, because with all your albums and with all good doom metal albums, man, they've got a story to them, man. Can you tell me more about the story for Earthtorn?
Yeah, so it's a science fiction based story. I mean, it's basically about the human race and how we're destroying the earth, and how we've never our history has just been complete bloody. And so an extraterrestrial from another planet is sent down to Earth to analyze, study us, learn about our ways, and then eventually deplete the earth of our natural resources if we have any. So he's sent down to Earth disguised as one of us, on a mission just to, you know, with no empathy whatsoever, just to you know, steal our natural resources and eventually destroy us. So, and in the midst of this mission, he falls in love with a woman. And as long as he's on Earth, underneath this skin, he's become more and more human. And so he's becoming more and more empathetic. So he's learning about war, death, destruction, and everything. And then now he learns about love, and he realizes there's some good on this planet. And now he's torn between two worlds. There's this conflict that he's dealing with to carry out his mission, or to just let himself go, and where this is going to lead him. So so eventually the woman he falls in love with dies of cancer. So now not only has he learned about love, he's also learned about loss, death. And so now he realizes there's really nothing left to have on this planet. But on the other hand, he feels that there are other people on this planet with loved ones, and he knows how they feel. And then he doesn't want them to lose, their people that they love. So he kind of lies to his home planet and says the human race is basically going to destroy themselves. So there's no reason to wipe them out. And the earth has nothing to be had. There's no natural resources to be had. I'm coming home.
Yeah.
And so he leaves Earth, but her memory is like, as he's leaving Earth and distancing himself from our world, he's reimagining, he's remembering how he used to be, how his planet used to be. But there's a glimmer in his heart, like this, the memory of that person he met, that human he met, is always a beacon in his heart, And so it's like a story about how, like, mankind is just horrible.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's about learning how to be empathetic, and it's about human growth too.
Yeah. No,
Basically,
I love the stories to your albums as well, man. And can you tell me, when you make these albums and you've got this story in mind, do you have the story in mind, or do you have the compositions first? How do you do the songwriting process for this, Craig? Is it a matter of having a story kind of roughly set in your head and then starting these compositions and then kind of going from there and working it out?
I have like an idea in my head. Yeah, I do. But what always helps is having the artist come up with the artwork, concept art first.
Yeah, I think you said that
and that always inspires me. Artwork inspires me to write music, So if I have the cover art, it really propels me to start really writing and making songs with different moods that fit each narrative of the story, So.
Yeah, and then speaking of artwork, that you get to do the lyric videos and the videos as well, man. So you're not only making the music, you're making the videos as well, which I must say takes a damn lot of work, man. I respect the hell out of you doing that, man. Tell us a little bit about that first single, man, and the film clip and the lyric video for that, Weight of Two Worlds. Both of them.
That's the one lyric video I did not do.
Oh, you didn't do that one? Tell me about the second one then. I know
I got YOD Multimedia. So he did that one. Because sometimes, listen, I could do 2 videos, but that's all I got in me.
Yeah. Did you shoot him over the ideas and the artwork and go, "Oh, I want to use this"? Yep.
Yeah. And I give him the lyrics, and he puts it all together with the imagery. And it's funny because the imagery he uses is like the same stock footage that I've seen in Shutterstock and all. And when I look for stock footage and I laugh, I was like, I was going to use that before I just do this video. And he laughs. He's like, "Oh, let's go," But one thing is Weight of Two Worlds, the second single, that lyric video. That video is like 10 minutes long.
Yeah.
And I did not trust anybody else doing that besides myself.
Yeah.
Because the whole ambient breakdown is like 4 minutes in the middle. And like a guy that did not write the song,
Isn't gonna.
that he doesn't have the artwork, all that artwork to put together. And I really wanted something psychedelic, trippy in the middle, you know. I really wanted to give people an experience with that, that lyric video. Like I wanted them to shut off the lights, smoke something, drink something, put on the headphones and turn it up really, really loud, you know. But that's something only I could have delivered, you know. And now we have the on the 13th, we're releasing the Angel of Doom music video.
Yeah.
Which that was the hardest thing I've ever had to edit in my life.
Yeah. Long process.
Oh God. Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot. It wasn't just filmed like a camera here, a camera there, camera here, and a bunch of guys in a room playing, and you see them all at the same time.
Yeah.
No, it was cut, and imagery put in the background, layered on top. It was just a lot, you know. So.
Yeah, it does take a lot of work. So, man, a bit of time off after this one, dropping the album 20th of May. I suppose the best place to get along for everyone to support Drift into Black is head over to Black Lion Records and chuck in some pre-orders. There's some other places that we should go check out as well. I know you've been dropping a bit of content as well. If people want to check it out over on your YouTube channel, I think it was the track listing. I wasn't going to go too much about the tracks because I know you did talk about that in the track listing. If people want to jump over, I think it is your YouTube channel, is it?
Yeah. I do like a track by track analyst, analysis of the entire. So we're up to like episode 2 right now. I think I'll drop episode 3 next week. And, you know, it goes into detail on every track on what was my mind thinking, you know, the part of the storyline in the lyrics and explaining the lyrics, you know. So
yeah, I did want to bring it up because I have watched those first couple and it really does give a good insight into this album and into the music and story behind it all. So I can't recommend that enough for people to go check that out as well. Craig, look, man, it's been an absolute pleasure to catch up with you again, talk about Drift into Black and the latest album, Earthtorn, which does drop 20th of May through Black Lion Records. Everyone needs to get it, put it in the stereo, crank it up really bloody loud. Any last words, shout outs, or thank yous, my friend?
No, thank you for everybody that's listened to the first 2 singles and everyone that's pre-ordered. You're not gonna regret it. I think it's a mammoth of an album, you know, and it's long. It's almost an hour long, so you're gonna enjoy it. There's something in there for everybody. Jay, always a pleasure, man. Like you're definitely probably the most fun interviews I've ever done. So, you know, I appreciate you, bro.
Legend. Cheers, brother. You take it easy, my friend.
You too, bro.